It may not be for the glittering prize of a world championship, but don't underestimate just how much satisfaction George Russell would take from beating Max Verstappen to third place in the 2025 Formula One standings. This is no casual rivalry, it's personal. And now, as the sport returns from its summer break, Mercedes has openly declared its mission. Russell is coming for Verstappen. Earlier in the year, the idea that Verstappen would be defending a position in the lower half of the podium places rather than leading the title race seemed absurd. After 7 rounds, the Dutchman was still in touch with McLaren's sensation, Oscar Piastri, trailing him by a mere 22 points. The RB21, while not as dominant as its predecessors, still appeared competitive enough to carry Verstappen to what would have been a 5th consecutive world crown. But in Formula One, momentum can be a fickle beast. A sequence of underwhelming results, compounded by setup headaches, strategic missteps, and a car that no longer scares its rivals, has dragged Verstappen down the order. The turning point came during the European leg, where a series of circuits exposed the RB21's instability under braking and lack of top-end speed on certain straights. Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren capitalized, and suddenly Verstappen's championship hopes collapsed like a house of cards. He now sits 97 points adrift of Piastri. Even Red Bull's ever-combative advisor Helmut Marko has stopped talking about mathematical possibilities and conceded that the title fight is over. Impossible, he said bluntly, a word that would have been unthinkable to attach to Verstappen's name just a few months ago. For Russell, this is an opportunity he has no intention of letting slip. After Verstappen's victory at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix earlier this season, the Briton was 25 points in arrears. Since then, steady podium finishes, a win in Montreal, and some well-executed damage limitation drives have cut the gap to just 15 points. The prospect of passing Verstappen both on track and in the standings is tantalizingly close. Andrew Shovlin, Mercedes trackside engineering director, explained the dual objectives now driving the Silver Arrows into the final 10 Grands Prix of the year. "We've got George looking in a pretty close battle with Max for P3 in the Drivers' Championship," Shovlin said. "That's something we want to push for. And with Kimi, we've seen some excellent race pace. The focus with him will be making sure we can start him further up the grid, because if we do that, he will just be converting that to a lot of points on a Sunday." Antonelli, still in his rookie season, has been one of the quiet success stories of 2025. His raw speed has impressed, but qualifying inconsistencies have left him with too much work to do on race day. If Mercedes can fine-tune his Saturdays, his Sundays could become far more fruitful, a development that would not only boost Antonelli's own tally, but also serve the team's Constructors' Championship ambitions. The Constructors' fight is every bit as fierce as the driver battles. Mercedes currently sits third with 24 points to make up on Ferrari. Red Bull, unusually, is chasing from behind. Every point scored by Russell and Antonelli matters, especially with McLaren pulling away into a commanding lead. "We're in a pretty tight battle for second in the Constructors' Championship," Shovlin emphasized. "Ferrari is just a little ahead, Red Bull behind, so that's going to be fun. And to achieve that, we've definitely got to optimize what we've got over the remaining tracks. Budapest showed that we've got a good car when we landed in the right place." That comment refers to the Hungarian Grand Prix before the summer break, where Mercedes unlocked a particularly sweet setup window and delivered one of their most competitive weekends of the year. It was a reminder that even in an era dominated by McLaren's resurgence, the W16 has race-winning potential under the right conditions.